Good morning. We're going to make baked spaghetti and meatloaf. And then we're going to plant two cherry seedlings. And I'm going to get my puppy a little something before we get started. So grab you a cup of coffee. I have my husband's coffee cup this morning. He said the other side should say, my wife is as bitter as my coffee. Sit, sit, sit. Okay, I'm going to get my hands washed and we will get started. Happy Hump Day. So I am running behind a little bit this morning. But as I've said before, this is real life. It happens real time. So, let me get you moved over here and we will get started. I went ahead and put on some water to boil. So, hopefully that won't take too long. And I'm going to go ahead, in this skillet, all I have is some burger, and we'll go ahead and get our burger started browning to make the spaghetti sauce. And I'm going to, good morning if you're just coming in. I want to put you down here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to chop up one onion because I'm going to be making baked spaghetti and meatloaf this morning. Hope everybody's doing good this morning. Okay, so let's get started. I'm just going to cut up some onions. And dice them. Normally I have this done ahead of time, and I was running a little bit behind this morning, so we're just going to do it all on the live stream. A lot of people don't like to cut in toward themselves. If you don't like to do that, please do not, if you do not feel good. What's cooking? We are making baked spaghetti this morning. And then we're going to put a meatloaf together. Since I have the oven going, I thought I would go ahead and do both and get them both started. So I have some noodles cooking. Well, hot water cooking, getting ready to put some spaghetti in. I have some hamburger on browning, and we're going to dice some onions. So this is boiling good. I'm going to go ahead and get my noodles in there. Hubby wanted some baked spaghetti. And all I have in my water is a little bit of oil and a little bit of salt. Always put a little bit of oil in my water so that my noodles do not stick together so bad. So we'll go ahead and get those started. And I'm going to stir them around a little bit so they don't stick together. So happy hump day, everybody. Turn that down a little bit. Okay, and we're going to get back to chopping. And I just have my hamburger browning. And I'm just going to dice up some onions, and then I'm going to dice up some green peppers. And we're going to get our spaghetti sauce started for the baked spaghetti. And then once we get all this put together, I'm going to put a meatloaf together. And then I'm going to put them in the oven. And then I'm going to plant. My husband wanted some cherry trees. So he found some dwarf cherry trees. And it came as seeds, so I have to plant the seeds, and they should harvest by July. So when I get done with all of this, I'm going to go ahead and plant 2 of the cherry seedlings. I'm going to go ahead and add my onions and my green peppers right into my burger. I think I'll do one more. This weather is really beautiful. It's supposed to be 81 degrees here by Friday. If you're just coming in, we've got noodles on cooking, well, spaghetti on cooking in the pot. And I've got hamburger browning, and I'm adding some onions, and I'm getting ready to add some green peppers to make the spaghetti sauce. Normally I have all of this diced up, but I'm running behind this morning. But it will all be alright. As I've said before, it happens here in real time. It's real life. We don't cut and paste and try to make things look better than they are. It just is what it is, when it is. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and get these onions in. And then I'm going to dice up a little bit of green peppers to add into this. Just making the spaghetti sauce. Okay, I'm just going to move those to the side, and we'll get us a green pepper here ready. So my meatloaf is just a meatloaf that I learned to cook from my mother and my grandmother. It's nothing special. This is basically just recipes that I've learned from my childhood up. And I'm passing them on to my daughter and my grandchildren. And a lot of times my daughter will ask me for a recipe, and I really don't have a recipe. So she comes over to my home, and we go in the kitchen and do a meal together. So when I started doing some recipes online, she was so excited because she lives in another state. She can just follow me along on a live stream, and it's just like she's here in the kitchen with her mom. Because she gets overwhelmed really easy in the kitchen. So she was really excited that I started doing some videos cooking. And I'm using probably about a half a green pepper, medium size. You're probably hearing my pup in the background. I'm going to turn my noodles down just a little bit more. Once that stainless steel heats up, it holds heat really good. Oh, that looks like they're doing just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and get some green peppers in. And yes, I use my hands. They're clean. I just washed my hands. I'm old-fashioned. I'm always using my hands. Nothing special. Just thought I'd bring you along and add this recipe to my live recipes. So if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them as we go. I get distracted when I'm cooking and forget to look at chat because I'm just new at adding cooking. And I'm going to go in here and check on the pup in just a minute and make sure. He has a little basket, and if he jumps into it, he's afraid to come back out. It's like a basket bed, so he may need me to assist him. So I'm going to go ahead and add these and check on the pup. Ryder may need some assistance. I'll be right back. Yep. Are you in your best? I'm going to wash my hands. Bless his heart, he was in his basket bed. He says my legs are just, he's brave enough to jump in and lay down and get all curled up on his woobie, his blanket. But he's not brave about jumping back out. He's an absolute doll baby. Okay, so I'm going to move that over, and I'll see if I can get you a little bit closer here. So basically I just have green peppers, onions, and ground beef. And I'm just going to let that saute really good. And then I'll drain all that extra grease off of there. And I'm cooking some noodles. So while that's getting ready, see that, okay? That's just basically ground beef, peppers, and onions. So while that is getting ready, I'm going to go ahead and put the meatloaf together. So I'm going to need to chop some more onions and some more peppers, so I might as well do that first. And I want to turn these noodles down a little bit more. While this hamburger and peppers are sauteing for my spaghetti sauce. And I'll go ahead and get these onions and peppers chopped up, and then we'll put a meatloaf together. And then whenever I go to bake, I can just put both of them in the oven together. Baked spaghetti and meatloaf. So that is what we are working on this morning. And I just used one onion, and I put a couple ringlets in my sauce, and I'm going to put a couple ringlets in my meatloaf. So I'm going to set this to the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my green pepper. I like to make up meals ahead of time, and that way when Mr. Zink is ready for dinner, it is ready. And whenever Mr. Zink gets up and the morning starts, he has to be outside into different activities. He likes to stay very busy. He's disabled, so if he keeps himself a little busy, it helps him to keep moving good. And he's just adjusting to working full time and then not being able to do everything he did before. So he tries to find little projects to work on. I think he's getting ready to purchase a new standing toolbox for one of his buildings. For his tools. So I think he's rearranging the building before he purchases the new toolbox. I think that's his project. So, right now we've just got the spaghetti noodles, pasta cooking. We've got the hamburger browning with some onions and peppers sauteing in it. And I'm getting ready to put a meatloaf together. And it is so beautiful. I already have some little seedlings that I've started. And they're doing really, really good. I grew some from seed. Okay, now I'm just going to move these over a little bit. And then I'm going to get me a mixing bowl. Okay, now for my meatloaf, I'm going to be using 1 pound of ground beef, and then I'm going to add the onions and peppers. So we got 1 pound of ground beef, chopped peppers, chopped onions. Now, I use crackers for my filler, and I just crush them up. This might be a little loud. And I usually use about, well, 1 full bag of crackers, and then possibly the second package of crackers, depending on the texture that I'm wanting for the meatloaf. So I'm going to go ahead and crush both of these. Again, sorry for the noise. I should have done this ahead of time. And I'm going to go ahead and put about half of this bag in, and then we'll see if I need more once we get my hands into the meatloaf. I don't even think I might not even have to dry or drain that. That doesn't have much grease on it at all, but I still will probably drain it. It's a very lean burger. And I don't want to overcook my pasta because I'm going to be baking it. Okay, so now I have 1 pound of ground beef, chopped onions, chopped green peppers, and a pack and a half of crushed crackers. So now I'm going to add ketchup. And of course, like I said, I do not have a recipe. It's just, I do it by feel. Whoops. This one needs opened. So I'm going to add some ketchup. And then I'm going to add 1 egg at room temperature. And then I'm going to add some sugar. And I really don't have, like I said, an actual recipe. I just kind of go by feel. And this is just regular granulated sugar. So usually about 6 to 8 tablespoons possibly. I'll give this a stir again before I put my hands in the meatloaf. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and get our hands in there and mix this all up. I've always used crackers as a filler because that's what my mother used, and that's how I was taught. So I want to make sure I get this all mixed up really good. And I can tell by the feel that I'm going to need the rest of those crackers. So I'm going to go ahead and add those crackers. I don't want it to be too dry, but I don't want it to be too moist. So you just learn by feel the more you do it. And I don't add any salt or pepper to my ketchup. That's all I add. Or to my meatloaf, sorry. I did add the sugar to help take down some of the tanginess of the ketchup. My daughter always liked a sweet meatloaf. And my mother always made a sweet meatloaf. So that's what I'm used to. And you want to make sure you get it all blended good. So there you can see the consistency. And I'm going to move this off to the side. And I'm going to put that in this baking dish. I'm just going to try and level this out where it's even. I don't like a really thick meatloaf. So this is about the thickness that I prefer. Wash my hands. I'm just going to make sure I clean up this dish a little bit. Just kind of wiping down the sides so that doesn't burn. And I do not season my dish. I don't have any oil or ham on that. This hamburger is very dry, so I'm just going to go ahead and add my sauce. It's not even going to need to be drained, because it's a very lean burger. And I'm just using Prego Traditional. So I'm going to add my sauce. And I'm going to get me a spoon. And I'm going to turn this down. Keep it on simmer. And I just want this to warm up really good all the way through. And I'm going to add some Italian seasoning. And I'm going to add some garlic powder. Mr. Zink loves his garlic powder and everything, so we're going to add some garlic powder. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of sugar. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons, heaping tablespoons of sugar. And I'm just going to let that warm through. These noodles are, the sauce is about where I want it, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Okay, now all I need to do with my meatloaf is I'm going to take a little bit of ketchup and I'm going to cover the top. Just want to make sure it's covered really good. I wanted to get all this done so I could get Mr. Zink's cherry tree seeds started, planted today. So there's the meatloaf. I'm going to set it to the side. Then I'm going to, let me wipe this off again. I want to get this dish ready because this is what I'm going to be baking my baked spaghetti in. go ahead and preheat my oven. Oh, that smells so good. And I'm going to go ahead and drain my pasta. And I'm going to rinse my pasta off really good because I had oil in there in the water. And I'm going to rinse my pot. I've got my pasta drained and rinsed. Now I'm just going to put my sauce right in there. And then I'm going to mix it all up together. Mr. Zink wanted some baked spaghetti. And I thought since I was baking spaghetti, I might as well make a meatloaf and put them both in the oven together. And that way I'll have dinner for tomorrow. I'll bake that meatloaf and I'll let it cool. And I will cover it and put it in the refrigerator. And it will be ready for dinner tomorrow. Just have to take it out and heat it up. And I will have 2 meals almost completed. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of extra sauce, uncooked, because I really don't like a dry pasta when it's baked. So I use about a half a jar because I don't like to add tomato puree or anything like that because my husband doesn't like a lot of the tomato. So this is just enough to give me a really nice saucy tomato or spaghetti. And since it's going to be baking, all that other sauce needs to do is just warm up a little bit more as it bakes. Now that looks scrumptious. So I'm going to go ahead and get my dish ready. And I do not spray my dish. And then I'm just going to put this pasta right in here. Oh, that looks so good. It smells delicious. It's got plenty of sauce. And I'm just going to clean up that edge there just a little bit. Delicious. Oh, it smells good. And then I'm going to top it off, cover it really good with some mozzarella. And we will have baked spaghetti ready to go in the oven. And we will have meatloaf ready to go in the oven. And then I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of parsley on top. Just enough to give it a little bit of color. Doesn't that look delicious? Okay. See if I can move these things around. And I'm going to use a cookie sheet lined in aluminum foil. I want to make sure I don't have anything on the side of those handles. And we have a meatloaf and we have baked spaghetti ready to go in the oven. Oh, it smells delicious. So, there we go. Now I'm going to move it over here. And see how easy that was? Quick, easy, simple. So now I just have a little bit of kitchen cleanup. And I have my baked spaghetti and my meatloaf already in the oven. So, all of that is going to be ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and put this other half a jar in the refrigerator because I'm going to be making another meal that I can use this up with in a couple days. And I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the refrigerator. So, that was very quick and easy, and of course, as you can see, I don't really have a recipe. So, when my daughter starts to make something, she would get frustrated because I couldn't just give her a recipe. So this is another way for her to be able to make the meals that she likes. And she won't have to come over to Mom's house and follow along in the kitchen a few times to learn how to prepare that meal. So now the next thing we're going to be doing, I'm going to go ahead and rinse out my iron skillet. I don't like to let it set. Because of the spaghetti sauce. I'll go ahead and get it rinsed out, and then I can go ahead and make an easy cleanup here in a little bit on that. I'll get this out of the way, and then we will start planting some cherry trees. Seedlings, they're seeds. Just want to rinse this out really good. Get all that tomato sauce out of there. And then I will come back and reseason, clean and reseason my iron skillet. If you've ever worked with iron skillets, you know they do take some extra care. So that just rinsed it out and got it prepared for a good cleaning here in a little bit. Okay, so now let me move some things around here and we will get ready to start making or planting some cherry tree seedlings. Move some of my decorations off the island over. And make some room here. This is the seedlings that come in. Hopefully you can see that okay. These are going to be the dwarf cherry trees and their seeds. So I'm going to start 2 cherry tree seedlings. So I'm going to use my island here. And I'm just going to put some aluminum foil out because I know whenever I start working with potting soil, I'm probably going to have a little bit of a mess. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out some aluminum foil. Sorry if that's loud. And I wanted my potting soil to be warm, so I made sure it was indoors and warm. It didn't shock the seeds. And I'm going to be using these 2 planters. And these, you do not have to remove the plant from the pot. You can actually just put it right in the ground, if I can get them apart, and just plant it right in the pot. So once I get them started in this, then I can just move them to a larger patio pot. So that's what I'll be doing with these. Now here is an example of some of the ones that I started. This, I started from seeds, and this was the little starter kit. And this is parsley. And I had started cucumbers from the seeds. And once they got to this point, I moved them from the starter pot to one of these pots that I'm going to be planting the cherry trees in. As you can see, these are doing absolutely wonderful. They're ready for spring, and they're ready to be planted on my patio deck garden. Okay, so let me get started here. And I know I'm going to make a mess. I always make a mess. And since these are going to be seedlings, I'm going to go about 75% soil, 80% soil, and then I'm going to put the seedlings in. I really like this starter potting mix. And I'm going to do about 80% soil. And I'm going to go ahead and lightly moisten that. This is just bottled water. I just want to lightly moisten it. Let's see if one of these other packs has a... No, they don't. They all do the same. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open this pack. And I'm going to plant about 3 seeds to each pot. And then if they all do okay, then I can separate them. So I need 6. Oops. 2 dropped in there, so I'm going to go ahead and use those 2 that dropped in. And then I'm just going to kind of separate them so they're not too close. And I'm going to press them down just a little bit. About like so. And these are a dwarf cherry. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill this the rest of the way up with my soil. And these should be ready to produce their first cherries in July. And these are a dwarf tree. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more water on this top. I just want all that soil to kind of blend in together. Okay, I'm going to set those off to the side. Sorry for the noise. I'm going to go ahead and move this out of my way. And then I'm just going to set these starter plants in a nice tray. And then I'm going to set them in a sunny area. And I want to make sure that I keep the soil moistened and we'll keep an eye on them. And as they begin to grow, I'll show you the progress. So I'm going to go ahead and set these over in a sunny area. And I'm going to go ahead and tape this back with a little bit of Scotch tape. And I'm going to put it back in with my packages. And this came with 5 packs of seeds. So when we do purchase our property, which we're looking for some property, then I will start some more seedlings. But right now I only have a deck area to garden in. So that's what I'm going to be using. So I'm only starting 2 dwarf cherry trees. And it may be more than that. It depends on how many of the seeds take. So I didn't make too much of a mess. So there is my start to my hump day. I've got, I want to set my timer here for about 40 minutes. About 45 minutes. I normally bake my meatloaf approximately an hour, and I forgot to set my timer because I wanted to get those cherry tree seeds in the soil. So that's what I am doing today. So we got baked spaghetti put together, and in the oven. We put a meatloaf together, so they're both in the oven together. And I got some dwarf cherry tree seeds planted to start the seedlings for my husband. And I ever kicked anyone in the balls? No, I haven't. And that's not very nice. That's not very nice at all. No, try to be a very respectful person. So that's what I have got accomplished today. And I'll bring you over and let you see. We got meatloaf in the oven, and the spaghetti is baking. We got baked spaghetti in the oven. And we have our plants started, so I'm going to take you over here. And I'll let you see my little plant area. This is some of the little seeds that I started. This is the cucumbers that I started from a seedling starter kit that was this size. And this is the chive seedling starter from seeds. This is sweet basil, started from seeds. And this is my parsley. So these were my 3 herb starter kits. And then this was my 3 vegetable starter kits that were in the same pots. So this is my cucumbers, my beefsteak tomatoes, and this is my cherry tomatoes. And then I move these over to the sunny area. So these are the two that we just did today. That is the 2 dwarf cherry tree seeds that I've started. So that is my little starter area for my plants. So that is what we are doing today. So I'm going to need to do a little bit of a kitchen cleanup. As you can see, and I've got a good start on my day. So that's what I'm doing today. So, you see how easy and quick that was? I'll have my baked spaghetti for dinner this evening. I will put my meatloaf, I'll cover my meatloaf when it is done, and I will put it in the refrigerator, let it cool, put it in the refrigerator, and then tomorrow I'll just put it in the oven and heat it back up while I'm cooking some potatoes to make mashed potatoes and doing some green beans on the stove. So that'll be 2 dinners done, one for today, one for tomorrow. So, if my daughter's watching, you've seen how absolutely easy that was to put the baked spaghetti together, to put the meatloaf together, and I hope this makes it fun for you in the kitchen, sweetheart. And for everybody else, don't be afraid to go to the kitchen and try new things. It's always fun. So go enjoy your kitchen. Experiment. Have fun. Enjoy it. So now, till next time, I'll see you. And as always, be kind. Please be kind to one another. We need to see more of that. So, till next time, bye-bye, everyone. Have an absolutely wonderful rest of your hump day. And this is the shirt I'm wearing today. I'm not lazy. I'm just good at doing nothing. So this is my hump day shirt, my hump day morning. So, till next time, bye-bye. And if you've stopped in, I want to thank you for stopping in. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. And please be kind in the comments. We don't allow any hate or any disrespect. This is an older lady that has a lot of extra time on her hands, and I'm disabled at this point and will be for the rest of my life. So I'm adjusting, and this is just something that I'm adding to my channel. So please be respectful. So, till next time, bye-bye. Enjoy your wonderful, wonderful week. It's supposed to be sunny and 81 here by Friday. So, have fun, enjoy your week, enjoy your kitchen, and try new things. Baking and cooking is fun. Till next time, bye-bye. Have a great Wednesday, everyone. Bye-bye.